a foreigner in the Philippines.
Sa kabriton og iyang asawang bulanod,
magtiayon sa lalawigan sa Bohol.
ng isang dayuhan at ang kanyang asawang Pilipina.
7 taon ng mag-asawa sina Terence at Beth na nakatira ngayon sa lungsod ng Talibon, Bohol.
Don't forget to share and subscribe our YouTube channel.
In Alberta, you got Lake Louise and
Oh, okay, you're Alberta, Canada.
yeah, Alberta. Yeah, you got Lake Louise.
I was thinking Oklahoma.
Oh, Oklahoma. There's a place in Edmonton, in Oklahoma too. Oh, really? Yeah, Canada. Canada oil patch.
Oil patch.
Yeah, that's oil country.
The, what do you call it?
Fort McMurray.
Yeah, but it's a different kind of oil. It's sand.
Oh, oil sand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very controversial. The sand's saturated with oil. So in order to get the oil out of the sand, they got to bake it, cook it. So they got to use a lot of energy to withdraw the oil from the sand, right? Now the right way to do it, there's a scientist, and I don't know if he's followed through with it and finished it, but the fastest way to get it, the most economical way, is microwave it. So they had to design a giant microwave to microwave the sand, and then the sand drains out of the oil will drain out of the sand, you know. But they've discovered oil sand in the United States too now, down in I think Nevada or something like that.
So
Well, that's just
what are
one.
the risks, if any, with a giant microwave? Because those things leak,
Yeah,
you know?
but it would be on an industrial site, you know. So I don't know. Right now, it takes a lot of energy, and I believe that there's a water being used in the process too, because they've got cooling ponds that they have to dig these giant areas to hold all the wastewater, and then they want to wait for that to evaporate, and then they do the cleanup afterward. You know, so they call it dirty oil because it's a big process to get that out of the ground, right? It's not environmentally friendly, you know, like regular oil, you can just pump it out of the ground and then you send it to a refinery and process it, where there's a lot of work to do before you can get it to a refinery.
Yeah, it's Oklahoma. That's oil wells everywhere.
Oh yeah. Alberta's the same thing, you see oil wells everywhere, but that's northern Alberta in the Muskeg area, you know, where it's like permafrost. So they've discovered oil sand, and it's been going pretty strong. But oil sand is more complicated to process, like I told you. So when the price of the oil dropped drastically, I mean, it's like it was really low there. They just shut the oil sand down. It wasn't even profitable to operate. And now the prices have come back up. They're hiring people.
I read with the real estate, when you're selling real estate in America, you're very, very sure that you own the mineral rights on the land that you own. So the land covers that plate, and underneath there could be all kinds of stuff that could be mined.
Yeah.
And people who didn't attend to that, when they bought the place, they bought the property, they could have one of those nodding donkeys on their land, and they wouldn't get anything for it.
Right.
And they,
The only thing you get for it is that you lease the space that they use, right?
well,
And it'd be very minimal.
yeah, it's compared to
Yeah.
the thing is,
And I don't know if they even let you still have mineral rights in the United States, oil and mineral rights. Like in Canada, it's gone. Oh yeah, the only way you can get it is like the original old landowners, like the Parkey Ranch. It's like the biggest ranch in Alberta. Now that goes back generation to generation, and they own all the oil and mineral rights to everything, right? And it's been passed down generation to generation. Now, if the last person dies in that family and that property is ever sold, those new owners will not have oil and mineral rights. Canada has taken that right away now.
yeah, I never knew about it until I just had to read it somewhere. It said you better make sure that you
Yeah. I don't know if they've eliminated that in the States too, you know, because.
Well, they tried, but I don't think they were successful. But there's big changes coming and for the better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I strongly believe if you own this patch of land, everything on it should be yours, right? You know, but, you know, Canada turned around and said anything under the ground, we own it.
That's the problem.
Now they pump it out of the ground, and the oil companies have to pay the government huge royalties for every gallon that they pump out of the ground, right?
Would normally have gone to
The owner.
Doesn't take care of it.
Because it's like almost like a triple tax, you know, because they tax you on it coming out of the ground, then they tax it for being processed, and then they tax for you at the pump.
Purchase tax and then value added tax.
Yes.
And when I was in England, I was at one point I was working as a contractor, and I had over a certain income, you had to be VAT, value added tax registered. So, and then what it did, it was on 23%. Wow. It's just a killer. So if you're pricing a job, people will be saying to you, can we do it cash? But after a certain point, you don't keep taking cash. I mean, because every time that you take cash, you have to save that.
Right.
Because at some point, somebody's going to come in and say, well, hold on a second. You know, the Rolls Royce and the Dude Ranch that you own and that yacht.
And also they look at, hey, you bought $1 million for the product, but you only sold $250,000 of it. Where's the other $750,000 of the product, right? Canada is very good like that. Like in the United States, I own the business in the United States. In the United States, when you're a business owner in the United States and you got a tax number, now you're not charged tax. So you buy all your parts tax-free, right? And then if you're selling it to an indigenous, like an Indian or whatever, or another company that has a tax certificate, you don't charge them tax. But in Canada, they charge you tax on everything. You know, and then when you sell it, they'll give you your tax back. So they're not going to take any chance of anybody doing a side job or selling something and they get out of, you know, you're going to get out of paying a little bit of tax. You pay for everything up front.
Well, that's why they're trying to bring in the cashless society.
Yes.
You know, this woman that's the vice president right now, she's already been out and said, look, you won't have any worries. Now you'll have a given salary.
Suro'y masaman siya.
You won't own anything. Tax on anything. Hold on a sec, just wind that back again. I won't own anything. So,
Dengan apa sa nina na
it's smart.
ano mo?
Yeah, it's exactly what the United States was always against, right?
Right. And yet, they're sliding it in at that woman. Paris was brought up with Marxist teachers, mentors. And
Well, look what Obama did when he brought in all that spying on their own people, right? You watch those movies, Snowden, right? Have you seen that? That's a true story. Snowden. S-O-N, I mean, S-N-O-W-E-N.
it was, I figure.
D-E-N. No, you know what? The United States government put an ad in the newspaper.
Bukan na day. Bukan na babae na pa ba sila baligya itong mga t-shirt ba?
So they held this, you know, they went to like a big hotel or whatever, and they held it in one of those conferences.
Bukan na magnapabal sila mga
And then
t-shirt
brought all
baligya.
these computer geeks in. This guy has no classes or education on computers. He's just smart on the computer, right? So then the guy at the front of the class says, you know, here, I want you to do these 10 steps, and you got all day to do it. You basically, let's see if you can make these 10 steps. And like an hour later, I'm done. And the guy's like, there's no way you're done.
Sa oras sa
It's
sila diba?
impossible. He
Sarado.
goes, well, you didn't tell us what order it had to be done in. He goes, I shuffled a few things around and I'm done. And that guy's like, there's no way. So he comes over and checks it. Holy shit. Well, that Snowden guy became the head of the United States spy agency.
And then he went whistleblower.
Well, he went all around the world, setting up a spying station in Germany, setting up all this. At first it started in the United States. It started by spying on their own people. All through Google, all the phone companies. They are so advanced that you know, the guy had a gorgeous girlfriend, right? And his boss was sending him to go work all around. And then he's like, man,